and a very warm welcome to the news this Friday evening. I'm Isha Shah. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take a look at all the latest from India and across the world. Let's get started right away with the headlines. Government making record investment on modernization of railways. Prime Minister Modi says after flagging off Howrah-New Jalpaiguri Vande Bharat Express, asserts Gati Shakti giving a boost to multimodal connectivity. 2 lakh primary dairies to be set up at village levels in the next 3 years, says Union Cooperation Minister Amit Shah. Inaugurates mega dairy in Mandya, says plan to make India a major exporter in the milk sector. Government working to make India a manufacturing hub. External Affairs Minister addresses business community in Cyprus, says India gaining a prominent spot in the global economy. Core sector output up 5.4% in November. Better show by coal, fertilizer, steel, cement and electricity segments. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother, Hiraba, passes away. Last rites conducted in Gandhinagar. President, Vice President, Lok Sabha Speaker, political leaders and world leaders express grief. A quick look now at our flash news segment. Government hikes interest rates on NSC, post office term deposits, senior citizens savings scheme by up to 1.1 percentage points from 1st January, no change in the rate of PPF. Fiscal deficit touches 59% of budget estimates during April-November as against 46.2% in the same period last year, says government. All manufacturing activities at Marion Biotech's Noida plant stopped by Central Drugs Control Agency. The action was taken following reports of the deaths of children in Uzbekistan after consuming company's cough syrup. INB Minister Anurag Singh Thakur expresses happiness on Serbia marking India's Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav through a specially designed postal stamp. Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama appeals to people across the globe to collectively take a stand against weapons of mass destruction. China says that all the COVID-19 data it has shared, including that with the WHO, has been transparent despite its hospitals being overwhelmed. A Myanmar military court sentences Aung San Suu Kyi to a further 7 years in prison, taking her overall jail time to 33 years. Chocolate manufacturer Hershey sued in the United States over claims that the firm is selling products containing harmful levels of metal. A court in Botswana has issued an arrest warrant for former President Ian Khama for the possession of illegal firearms. And Prime Minister Modi expresses sorrow over the accident of cricketer Rishabh Pant. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said that he is distressed by the accident and prayed for Rishabh's good health and well-being. Our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday virtually flagged off the Vande Bharat Express connecting Howrah and New Jalpaiguri in the presence of West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. The Prime Minister was scheduled to visit West Bengal today, but he had to cancel his visit due to his mother's demise. However, he didn't let the grief overshadow his official engagements of the day and participated in the programs virtually. Along with the Vande Bharat Express, Prime Minister Modi also inaugurated the Joka-Taratala stretch of Joka Esplanade Metro project of Kolkata Metro. The Prime Minister also dedicated 4 railway projects to the nation and laid the foundation stone for the redevelopment of the new Jalpaiguri railway station. Prime Minister Modi said that for rapid development of the country in the 21st century, rapid growth and reform of railways is essential. The Prime Minister said that the metro rail system is an example of India's speed and scale today. He said that today, metro is running on an approximately 800-kilometer long track in different cities of the country, while work is on metro routes of over 1,000 kilometers. Let's listen in
इस 21वीं सदी में भारत के तेज विकास के लिए भारतीय रेलवे का भी तेज विकास, भारतीय रेलवे में तेज सुधार, ये सारी बातें बहुत जरूरी हैं। इसलिए आज केंद्र सरकार भारतीय रेलवे को आधुनिक बनाने के लिए, रेलवे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को आधुनिक बनाने के लिए रिकॉर्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रही है। आज भारत में भारतीय रेलवे के कायाकल्प का राष्ट्रव्यापी अभियान चल रहा है।
Now, Prime Minister Modi's mother, Hiraben, passed away this morning. Her last rites were performed at a crematorium in Gandhinagar around 9:30 a.m. in the presence of Prime Minister Modi, his brothers and other family members. The President, Vice President, Lok Sabha Speaker, Union Ministers and leaders across all political parties expressed grief at the demise of Prime Minister's mother. Many world leaders have also condoled the passing away of Prime Minister's mother. Prime Minister Modi reached the residence of his brother Pankaj Modi at Raisan village on the outskirts of Gandhinagar in the early morning hours. He offered floral tributes to his mother and touched her feet. Later, the Prime Minister and his brothers shouldered her mortal remains for some distance. Her last rites were performed at Sector 30 crematorium in Gandhinagar. Hiraben passed away at a hospital in Ahmedabad this morning, where she had been admitted since Wednesday. Prime Minister Modi had visited his mother in the Ahmedabad hospital on Wednesday. Paying tribute to his mother, the Prime Minister tweeted that a great journey of 100 years has ended with his mother's demise. The Prime Minister recalled that he always felt the trinity of a tapaswi's journey, selfless karma yogi, and a life dedicated to values in her. She is survived by her 5 sons, Prime Minister Modi and his brothers Soma Bhai, Amrut Bhai, Prahlad Bhai and Pankaj Bhai, and daughter Vasanti Ben. The Prime Minister regularly visited Raisan and spent time with his mother, also called Hiraba, during most of his Gujarat visits. Now, Prime Minister Modi chaired the second meeting of the National Ganga Council through video conferencing. The meeting was attended by West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav. The Prime Minister is the chairman of the National Ganga Council, while representatives of West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand are its members. The National Ganga Council has been given the overall responsibility for the superintendence of pollution prevention and rejuvenation of the Ganga River and its tributaries. Now, Union Minister of Cooperation Amit Shah has said that 2 lakh primary dairies will be set up at village level across the country in 3 years. He said the 3-year plan will associate farmers with the white revolution and make India a big exporter in the milk sector. He said this after inaugurating a mega dairy in Mandya, built at a cost of 260 crore rupees. The minister said that by creating a separate Ministry of Cooperation, the government has opened up the path of progress for India's farmers. He also assured the Karnataka Milk Federation of technical and other support from the Ministry of Cooperation. Let's listen in.
कर्नाटक के सभी किसान भाइयों बहनों को मैं आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि अमूल, नंदिनी दोनों इकट्ठा होकर कर्नाटक के हर गांव में प्राइमरी डेयरी हो, इस दिशा में काम करेंगे और 3 साल में कर्नाटक में एक भी गांव ऐसा नहीं होगा जहां पर प्राइमरी डेयरी नहीं हो.
Moving on now, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that the goal of the government is to make India a major manufacturing hub and to emerge as a $5 trillion economy by 2025. He said this while speaking at a business event in Cyprus. The External Affairs Minister said that India is getting increasingly prominent in the global economy. He said that the Modi government's trade policies and economic vision have contributed to India becoming one of the strongest destinations for foreign direct investment.
Our goal is clearly to make India a major manufacturing hub and to emerge as a 5 trillion economy by 2025. I would particularly like to draw your attention to the successes we've had in an initiative called the Production Linked Incentive Program, which has a certain set of domains where we have pushed for investments in those domains through incentives with the idea of increasing production based in India.
Now, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that India wants friendly relations with all its neighbours, but not at the cost of national security. Speaking at the 90th annual pilgrimage of Shiva Mad in Thiruvananthapuram, Singh recalled former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's remark that we can change our friends, but not our neighbours. The Defence Minister said that India will not compromise on national security to maintain good relations. Now, production of 8 infrastructure sectors increased by 5.4% in November against a 3.2% growth in the same period last year. The growth is due to a better performance by coal, fertilizer, steel, cement and electricity segments, according to the official data that was released today. Crude oil, natural gas and refinery products, however, recorded negative growth in November this year. The production growth of 8 key sectors slowed down to 0.9% in October. Meanwhile, the exports of agricultural and processed food products rose by 16% during April to November of the financial year 2022-23 in comparison to the same period last year. With this, the exports in the sector have touched more than $17 billion during April to November. Processed fruits and vegetables recorded a growth of 32.6%, while fresh fruits registered 4% growth compared to corresponding months of the previous year. And moving on, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar reviewed the action plan of the Indian Institute of Public Administration. The Vice President and President of IIPA appreciated the efforts of the Institute in capacity building of government officials. He called for making IIPA relevant for the common man. And time now for a quick look at some more news from across the nation. The government has achieved the target of starting 1.5 lakh Ayushman Bharat health and wellness centers across the country, informed the Health Minister. Under the Ayushman Bharat scheme, the government had set up a target of transforming existing 1,50,000 sub-health centers and rural and urban primary healthcare centers across the country as Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers by December of this year to bring healthcare closer to the people. The Ministry of Rural Development today said that more than 11 crore households were provided employment under Mahatma Gandhi Narega scheme. The ministry also claimed that under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, a total of 2.5 crore houses have been sanctioned, out of which 2.11 crore houses have been completed till the 15th of this month. Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, today inaugurated the Andhra Pradesh Judicial Academy in Mangalagiri. Chief Justice told the media that the use of technology in the judiciary has increased. He also reminded that more than 63 lakh cases are pending across the country due to non-availability of lawyers, and more than 14 lakh cases are waiting for lack of documents or records. And amid rise in air pollution, the centre's air quality panel today directed implementation of curbs under stage 3 of the Graded Response Action Plan in Delhi NCR, including a ban on non-essential construction and demolition activities. Delhi's 24-hour average air quality index stood at 399 on Friday, just 2 notches below the severe category. And time now for a very short break in the bulletin. Lots more coming up on the other side. Do stay tuned.
We will discuss the landmark outcomes of the United Nations Biodiversity Conference, COP15. How significant was COP15 compared to earlier COPs?
We have a 10-year framework now, which is popularly called as the post-2020 Global Biodiversity Framework. The world community recognized the importance of financing, particularly the resource mobilization.
Good progress has been made by recognizing the need for the special fund that will be set up.
Welcome back. Let's take a look now at all the latest from the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Ukrainian President Zelensky said that there were power outages in most of the country after Thursday's Russian strikes. He said that areas near Kiev, Lviv, Odessa, Kherson and Vinnytsia were particularly affected. Ukraine's military said it had shot down 54 missiles out of 69 that were launched by Russia. Air raid sirens rang out across Ukraine for 5 hours in the capital city of Kiev. Waves of Russian airstrikes in recent months targeting energy infrastructure have left millions without power and heating in often freezing temperatures. The Russian Foreign Ministry on Thursday called Ukraine's peace plan and proposal for a February peace summit under the UN aegis as delirious and hollow. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson dismissed the idea as a publicity stunt by Washington that has been trying recently to cast the Kiev regime as a peacemaker. Ukrainian Foreign Minister said on Monday that his government wants a peace summit within 2 months at the United Nations. Russian officials have said that any peace plan can only proceed from Kiev's recognition of Russia's sovereignty over the areas that it had annexed from Ukraine. British Defence Secretary Ben Wallace said on Thursday that UK would allocate £2.3 billion in aid to Ukraine in 2023. He added that some of it would be non-military and humanitarian support. He said that Britain has also sent thousands of anti-air missiles to help bring down the Iranian drones that Russia is firing indiscriminately, both at critical infrastructure and civilian areas. He asserted that UK will continue to support Ukraine to help it defend itself. And let's take a quick look now at some more developments from across the globe. A court in military-ruled Myanmar convicted ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi of corruption today. She has been sentenced to 7 years in prison in the last of a string of criminal cases against her. With this, she has a total of 33 years to serve in prison after a series of prosecutions since the army toppled her elected government in February 2021. The case that ended today involved 5 offences under the anti-corruption law. Her supporters say that the charges against her are an attempt to legitimize the military's seizure of power while eliminating her from politics. Former South Korean President Lee Myung-bak arrived at his home in Seoul today after being granted a special pardon earlier in the week. Lee, who was sentenced to a 17-year prison term for a range of corruption cases, was released from prison temporarily in June over health concerns. The Justice Ministry said in a statement that Lee is among more than 1,300 convicts who have been pardoned. The CEO-turned-conservative hero had been convicted of taking bribes from big businesses including Samsung, embezzling funds from a company that he owned, and other corruption-related cases before and during his presidency from 2008 to 2013. Now, people travelling from China to Spain will be required to test negative for COVID-19 or prove that they have been fully vaccinated against the disease amid a steep rise in cases in China, Spain's health minister said. Spain would coordinate at a high level with other member countries to adopt a common policy. The new measure comes after the EU Health Security Committee met on Thursday to discuss a common strategy to mitigate the spread of the virus as China lifted most of its travel restrictions. Meanwhile, China has called the testing requirements imposed around the world as discriminatory. Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu held his first cabinet meeting on Thursday after being sworn in as Prime Minister. His return marks his sixth term in office. Netanyahu's new government has pledged to prioritize settlement expansion in the occupied West Bank, extend massive subsidies to his ultra-Orthodox allies, and push for sweeping reform of the judicial system that could endanger the country's democratic institutions. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Friday that he was expecting Chinese President Xi Jinping to make a state visit to Russia next year. In introductory remarks from a video conference between the two leaders that was broadcast on state television, Putin said that the visit would demonstrate to the world the closeness of Russian-Chinese relations. Putin also said that he aimed to deepen military ties between the two countries. In his response, Xi said that China was ready to increase strategic cooperation with Russia against the backdrop of a difficult situation in the world at large. And let's take a look now at all the latest from the world of sports. The black pearl of football, Pelé, has passed away. Considered one of the greatest ever to play the beautiful game, Pelé had been battling cancer for a while, and recently his health condition worsened during his hospital stay. In his condolence message, Prime Minister Modi said that the passing away of Pelé leaves an irreplaceable void in the world of sports. Born on 23rd October 1940 in the small town in Brazil, Pelé died at the age of 82. Pelé learned the game from his father. He went on to represent his club, Santos, and later became the only player to win the World Cup 3 times in 1958, 1962 and 1970 with the Brazilian national team. With sublime skills and a winning smile, Pelé went on to score a world record of 1281 goals for his club and country. Now, star keeper batsman Rishabh Pant has survived a horrific car crash early on Friday morning. He's currently admitted in a hospital in Dehradun. The incident occurred when Rishabh's Mercedes car that he was driving hit a divider near Roorkee in Uttarakhand. The car flipped over and caught fire in the early hours of Friday morning. Pant had lost control of the vehicle when he dozed off, according to police officials. Rishabh has 2 cuts on his forehead, a ligament tear in his right knee, and has also hurt his right wrist, ankle, toe, and has suffered abrasion injuries on his back, the BCCI said in a statement. Rishabh's condition is said to be stable, and the BCCI is keeping a close watch on the developments. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi has called Rishabh Pant's family to take stock of his health situation. And some more news from the world of sports. The first test between Pakistan and New Zealand, played at Karachi, ends in a draw. Pakistan declares second innings at 311 for 8. Kiwis give the target of 138. Bad light stops play with New Zealand at 61 for 1. In a major upset, Saurashtra defeat Mumbai in Ranji Trophy Elite Group match by 48 runs. Mumbai's star batting lineup fails to chase 280, all out for 231. 11 players were suspended by the NBA following a mass scuffle during the Detroit Pistons' 121-101 victory over Orlando Magic. The Netherlands World Cup star Cody Gakpo to officially become a Liverpool player on 1st of January next year. And 3 times Olympic champion skier Austria's Matthias Mayr has announced a surprise retirement after a glittering career that also featured 11 World Cup wins. And with that, it's a wrap of the bulletin this evening. Do stay tuned to Sansad TV for all the latest updates. Thank you for being here. Good night.